The Village of Shadows, an Indian horror story. The Village of Shadows will drag you into a world where the living and the dead walk together, and love itself becomes a curse. Read on if you dare. The Invitation to the Forgotten Village. Raghav was just 27, newly married, and still adjusting to life with his wife, Meera. They lived in Delhi, but when Meera received an invitation from her ancestral village for a grand family gathering, she insisted that they go. Raghav hesitated. He had heard strange stories about forgotten villages in Uttar Pradesh, places where time itself seemed frozen. But Meera smiled warmly and said, "You'll love it. The whole family is waiting." And so, one misty evening, they boarded a dusty old bus. Arrival at sunset. Silence in the mist. The bus dropped them off on a lonely road at sunset. There was no sign of people, only trees, fog, and an eerie silence. The red sky burnt over the horizon like spilled blood. Raghav felt a shiver crawl up his spine. "Where is everyone?" he asked. Meera simply said, "They will come." And just then, figures appeared in the distance. Villagers with painted smiles. The villagers greeted them with strange excitement. Their clothes looked decades old, their skin pale and dry, their eyes shining oddly under the lantern light. Raghav tried to smile back, but something was wrong. Their faces didn't change. They grinned too wide and too long, as if their expressions were painted on. One old man leaned forward and whispered, "The groom has come. Finally, he belongs here." Raghav laughed nervously, but no one else did. The feast. No one touched. That night, the villagers held a feast in their honor. Long wooden tables stretched across the courtyard. Food was served, steaming rice, curries, breads, but no one touched it. Instead, dozens of eyes stared at Raghav. Not a single blink, not a single sound. Sweat trickled down his neck. He forced a bite into his mouth, but the food tasted bitter like mud. He looked around. Plates were piled high, but not a single hand lifted a morsel. A creepy group of villagers sitting at a long dining table, staring straight at his eyes with eerie smiles. Plates were full but untouched. Midnight footsteps and the staring crowd. Later, when they went to rest in their room, Raghav whispered to Meera, "Why didn't anyone eat? Why are they so strange?" Meera looked away. "It's just how they are here. Don't think too much." But Raghav could not sleep. Around midnight, he heard heavy footsteps outside. He opened the door slightly. The lanterns in the corridor flickered violently. For a second, the shadow on the wall looked like twisted bodies hanging. Then he saw them, the villagers, all of them, standing silently in the courtyard. They were not moving, not breathing, just staring at the house, their heads tilted unnaturally to one side. Meera's terrifying confession. His heart pounded. He shut the door quickly and turned to wake Meera. But when he looked at her, her eyes were glowing faintly in the dark. "Raghav," she said in a low voice. "You shouldn't have come here." Before he could respond, the door burst open. The villagers rushed inside like a storm, their mouths stretched unnaturally wide, revealing jagged, blackened teeth. Their nails were long and sharp like claws. They grabbed him, tearing his skin. Blood ran down his arms as he screamed, "Why are you doing this?" "You married the dead," a terrible voice from the crowd said. "Because you married the dead, and now you must join the dead." Raghav froze. A figure stepped forward from the shadows, an old woman with a half-burnt face. Her bones cracked with every step. It was Mira's mother. "You married my daughter," she said. "But she was not meant for the living. She belongs with us. And now so do you." Raghav turned to Mira in horror. She lowered her voice. Tears streamed down her face. "I don't want you to know this way. I died in an accident before our wedding. They brought me back so I could be with you." Raghav's stomach twisted. His wife, his Mira, had been dead all along. The circle of flames and the pit of death. The villagers dragged him to the courtyard. The air grew heavy, filled with a stench of rot. They formed a circle around him, chanting in a language that scraped like metal against stone. The ground trembled. Slowly a pit opened in the earth, glowing with flames. The heat was unbearable. They were going to throw him in. Raghav kicked and screamed, but their grip was ice cold, stronger than chains. He looked at Mira desperately. "Please," he begged. "You loved me. Don't let them do this." Mira's sacrifice. Mira stood at the edge of the circle, trembling. The villagers' chant grew louder. One by one, their eyes rolled back, glowing white. And then Mira screamed. The sound of the shrill shattered the chant. Her body burst into blue flames. Ghostly fire licked her skin, but she did not burn. She rushed forward, throwing herself into the crowd. The flames spread to the villagers, who shrieked as their skin cracked and blackened. "Go, Raghav," she cried. "I can't leave with you, but I can save you." The ground split wider, swallowing the burning bodies. The night filled with unholy screams, the smell of charred flesh, and the sound of cracking bones. Raghav collapsed. Darkness swallowed him. Awakening on the bus, or was it? At dawn, he woke up on a bus seat. The bus was moving, the road empty outside. The conductor tapped his shoulder. "Ticket." Raghav blinked, dazed. My wife? Where is she?" The conductor frowned. "You boarded alone last night. No one else was with you." Raghav looked at his hands. Deep claw marks were still there, blood dried. His clothes smelled faintly of smoke. The burnt Mangal Sutra, proof of the beyond. He reached into his pocket. Something heavy clinked. It was Mira's Mangal Sutra, blackened, burnt. His throat tightened. He realized she had truly saved him. But at what cost? The final glimpse. That night, back in Delhi, Raghav stared into the mirror. For a long time, nothing happened. Then, just for a moment, he saw her, Meera, standing behind him. Her eyes glowing faint blue. Her body cold, watching and waiting for him.